Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I am filming a bit of a recommendations video, as you can tell by the title for this, and I want to recommend books set by or in the water or generally on islands. Of course you can have books set by the water but you're not on an island. That is fully possible, but these are either set on islands or by the water, and I just had this feeling, this vibe, and I just wanted to talk about it, where generally I like things set on islands because they kind of trap there, so if something happens they can't leave or they're all stuck together. And they're just like this certain kind of adventure also if you're out on the water, because again you're trapped on this ship or whatever you're traveling in and you can't get away because you're trapped on this thing unless you of course swim really fast or breathe on water, etc. Even things under the ocean, you're usually trapped, you know. It's not like you're free, you're usually trapped under there for some whatever reason because you can't breathe if you leave, etc. Or if you are from underwater, you go up to the surface, it's usually set upon as a bad thing. Those whole vibes, I like them. I want to talk about some books that I feel have those different kind of vibes. It's usually also adventure stories, you know, going out onto the water, exploring. And I have 10 suggestions here, but I definitely had more on my list, but these for my faves, I guess. But generally those vibes, if you have them, leave them below, and I like them. I'm obviously filming this at home, but when you're watching this, I'm actually on holiday on an island by the ocean, obviously. I think what else could be more fitting than posting this then? Let's talk about the vibes. All of these are also very different, so I will try to describe the vibes as much as possible. So starting off with The Lesson by Cadwell Turnbull. This one I actually don't own physically, very sadly, but I read this on audiobook, I think it was last year, and I have not been able to forget it. This is set on the Virgin Isles, and it is, you know, in a modern day setting in a way, but it's actually a science fiction where the Virgin Isles are, I was going to say occupied, but not completely, but there is an alien ship above the isles and aliens have invaded. People know there are aliens around them, but they're very skeptical to them, and they are very why are you here? And there's a lot of hatred around them, but we don't really know why. And we get into nitty gritty things of the relationship between some aliens, some humans that live there, as well as just getting to know the people that live there and the plans the aliens have. It's very, very intriguing, kind of scary and spooky. Setting is immaculate, you know. They are not completely trapped there, but it's the only place where the aliens have a ship hovering above on Earth. So they have something very uniquely going on there. Not as much as, you know, water vibes, but definitely, you know, island vibes. But definitely a very unique and different book. It gets kind of spooky, I would say. So it's more on the dark side. But you know, a lot of people like to read thrillers in the summertime. So I think it's still really fitting. And I really need to get myself a physical copy because it was truly a really, really great book. And I recommend it a lot. So check this out for sure. Now I actually have almost just fantasy here because that's me, but there's of course contemporaries. Looking over to my contemporary shelf that could fit for this, but we are just rolling. So actually the one that I think describes the most the vibes that I'm trying to go for in this video is The Ones You're Meant to Find by Joanne He. So this is what initially I think even inspired this video. Should have started with this one, but it's fine. And this one is also a sci-fi. It is YA sci-fi, and it follows two girls. One of them is stuck on an island. She doesn't know how she got there, and she's trying to come back to civilization, and she just remembers she has a sister. And then we follow another character, and then she's on the mainland where the world is kind of falling apart because of storms and natural disasters. Most things in the world happens virtually, and she has a sister that disappeared and is trying to decide if she should look into it and find out what happened to her. And in this, the trapped island vibes is so thoroughly nice. It sounds really horrible, but it's more I felt the ocean. I could feel the smell of the waves, the salt, the frustration a main character went through trying to find out what she was doing there, trying to find out how to stay alive. I just love the vibes here. Also, you know, the cover is immaculate. The atmosphere in this I think is so strong, and you can really, really feel the setting the author was trying to give us. And it is also intriguing and beautiful and sad, but just the the ocean vibes, the island vibes, cannot compare. So I really recommend it. It's a very beautiful book. Yeah. And then we have a book set underneath the ocean, which is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. So this one is set on different, I was gonna say other small islands, but at least they're set like by the ocean, and every year they need to sacrifice the most beautiful girl in the village to the ocean king. Is it called the ocean king? The sea god, ocean king. Well, either way, two different words for kind of almost the same thing. To be his bride, to break his curse who has on him, and then our main character sacrificed herself for her brother's, I was gonna say future wife, current wife. I don't actually remember if they were actually married. And she goes down there underwater and enters kind of like the spirit realm underwater, meeting the sea god and other creatures and mythical creatures down there. Definitely feeling the ocean here. We are literally in it. Whereas it's mainly into this magical mystical world, and I do think like the atmosphere is very beautiful, very like spiritual, etc. And we have, you know, the ocean, so what else do you want? It's fitting in a different way, that's what I'm telling. It's just about the vibes, and this delivers those kinds. And then we have Summer of Salt by Katrina Lino. This one, it literally says behind here, on the island off by the sea you could always smell two things, salt and magic. So like, the vibes, I'm just saying. This one actually follows two sisters and they're waiting to get their magic, like set on this island. It's really tiny, and this magic is something that's gone in their family for generations. Stuff happens because of magic. Is very much about those magical realism vibe, a sisterhood, and it's also an FF romance in here, and it's very beautiful, a bit sad as well. I don't know why all of these have like kind of sad vibe to them. That's actually kind of a thing. Either way, it's very much exactly what I described. They're on an island. They've been there for a long time. The generations, really, you really get a close, closeted feeling, which is kind of nice because you're by the ocean. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. But yeah, it was very beautiful, very atmospheric. Loving the cover. Really enjoyed this book. Now for another one that fits perfectly as well is Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller, as well as its sequel Daughter of the Siren Queen. And this one is a really fun YA fantasy series, whereas it has a lot of twists and turns that you like do not expect. I think I enjoyed this much more than I thought I would, because I knew I was gonna like it, but I didn't think I was gonna, you know, love it, because it sounded like a bit, I was gonna say trashy, but it was just such a good time. And here we have our main character Alosa, and she's the daughter of the Pirate King, and she is going after this map and this key, and she meets this other ship, whereas they are her prisoners, but she feels a really big connection to one of the dudes there, aka he's hot. Okay, this one is basically, you know, on the ocean, going on adventures, going from place to place. It's like a pirate book, you know. It's what we think about when we think about ships and the ocean, and it's the greatest time. So it really, a ride, has so many twists and turns that is like so much fun, and a really cute romance, and just this really badass girl who is wanting to be a pirate, or not wanting to be, she is. I'm just thinking about something that's happened in here that I didn't know going in, and it's just literally so fun. So really like a great read if you just want to chill and relax and go on a ride. For a bit more melancholy, is that a word, one, you have Cersei by Madeline Miller. And if you're familiar with Cersei as a character from Greek mythology, she is, I would need you to check, half demigod, half like god, and half siren, I think it is. And she gets exiled to this island, and she is there for years and years and years, literally trapped on this island, cannot leave because of godly magic. And people come to her island and visit her, sometimes on purpose, sometimes randomly, and that's how she finds out what's happening in the world, etc. Immaculate vibes because of this. She's literally trapped on an island, and you know, it's really isolated from everywhere else. Not all islands are, but this one is. And I like snippets from other people's lives while she's there, and I think like it makes like that isolation very thorough, as well as seeing the world with beautiful writing and following Cersei as a character. Really solid book. A bit sad as well, but truly has beautifulness in it. Really fits, I think, for the vibes we're going for. I'm saying the word vibes every time in this video. Take a shot every time. And then, of course, I had to go for A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula Le Guin. So this one, and this whole series, is set on islands. The Islands of Earthsea. Is that even what it's called? The Islands of Earthsea. Double checking. I don't think it's a map in this. No. The World of Earthsea is definitely called, but we have a bunch of islands. Every time we need to travel with a ship, because there's many tiny islands everywhere. So there's a lot of ocean in it, a lot of island traveling outside the map, trying to find other things that is outside that people have never explored before. I love those vibes. It's so fun in like these kinds of stories. And following Gad, who our main character is trying to become a wizard and is very cool and has a really, really cool magic system that has based so many other things later on, and just an immaculate, amazingly written book. Like, it's written so well that it's almost like unfair how it's written. Like, Ursula Le Guin is great at words, whereas because she writes so well, it can feel a bit like shortened, but truly sentences cannot even say them. But yeah, a lot of like battle of magic, but since we are on all these islands and all the sea travel, I'm counting it in. It literally is sea in the title, so what else do you want? So now I have another YA fantasy, which is To Kill a Kingdom by Alexander Christo. Now, I wasn't like the huge and biggest fan of this, but it's definitely like a really, really fun YA fantasy and also a standalone that you can really enjoy. And this one kind of has an anime to lovers vibe because we are like in the ocean and outside the ocean and on ships and on adventures, and that's really fun. So we follow Princess Lyra, who is a siren royalty. People are scared of her because she's really good at going around and killing humans. And now she's sent after to kill the human that has killed the most sirens, which is Prince Elian. And then he rescues this woman on a ship that might not be Lyra. Does he know who she is? No, at the beginning. And she's there to kill him. I love a woman on a mission, to say it like that. So it's like kind of like an enemy to lover siren story. But they also on the ship a lot, you know, they're on the ocean, they go from place to place, as well as going on quests to go after something maybe, and as well as, you know, probably falling in love. So it is a really, really fun and adventurous story with all those vibes we are looking for. More of an adventure enemies lover focus vibe, but definitely like the ocean vibe you're looking for here as well. I do recommend it. I know a lot of people like it, so I enjoyed it enough. And now for the last two here, we have two middle grades. The first one I want to go for is Vampires, Demon of the Ocean by Justin Sumper, which I know like not a lot of people love, but I adore the series. Adding it here. And Vampires is exactly what it says it is. It is vampires and pirates meets. So we basically follow these two twins called Grace and Connor. I have to check the names. And their father dies and they kind of escape and are separated in this storm where one of them come on a vampire ship and the other one comes on a pirate ship, and they get these different experiences and do of course get reunited later, whereas there's this whole, I'm gonna say, revolution going on of what's gonna happen, as well as with vampires wanting to drink people's blood. It's a great time. I love pirates, I love vampires, so I do think that makes this really funny. It is a middle grade, and I think, you know, things could have been explored more, etc. But since it's middle grade, it's just a fun adventure thing. We are on the ocean, we are on ships with pirates and vampires. Like, what more do you want? It's like the most fun book, and it's a few years old now, but I still haven't finished it and I really want to, and I enjoy it so much. Okay, I adore it. So I had to have it here. I do think it fits the vibes in the adventurous fun thing with a bit of horror because, you know, pirates can be scary. Yeah. And the last one here is also middle grade, which is also a bit of a sad one, but that is Hurricane Child by Kason Calendar. This is set on St. Thomas, which is one of the US Virgin Islands as well. And this one follows Caroline, who is a hurricane child, it literally says here, and then her mother has left her and she's trying to figure out why. There's also kind of like a magical realism aspect to this, and she also gets her first new friend and they discover friendship and kind of love together, and there's all these sad elements coming together. It's a really, really beautiful and enjoyable story. Definitely have storms and island settings, need to travel from island to island, you know, sat by the water, and some queer rap, as well as the sadness of, you know, losing your mother. I do really, really think it's a really solid middle grade, just generally a really beautiful book as well. Look at this, she's literally standing in a boat on the ocean as well, just saying. Fits immaculately. I don't know why this is kind of sad as well, but it is what it is, and I do recommend it a lot. So hopefully more people will read it and see the beautifulness in this story. And yeah, that was all the 10 island slash set on water slash on ocean books we have here today. I hope you enjoyed, because I just really wanted to talk about these vibes in a way. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Put a wave emoji down below if you enjoyed this, and you will see me soon in a new one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!